Oh my god. The West Ham versus Leicester game has just finished. Um wow. 87 points total. We are lagging massively, but I don't even care. 87 points total. Overall rank 4,270th. No chips used. No transfers used so far. Oh my god. I can't believe it. I can't believe what a start to this FPL season I've had. Like, to be this high this early is just unheard of. Usually, the people this kind of rank this early are people who have already spunked two of their chips. You know, they've used their triple captain, they've used their bench boost. They're probably going to use their free hit next week, and then wildcard in game week 4 as well. That's usually the people who have a rank like this, and yeah, I've done it without any chips, without any Oh my god, this is incredible. This is like, this is insane. I genuinely, if I play well, if I play FPL well for the rest of the season, there is no reason why I can't win FPL. I, I, it's just insane. This is just insane. I'm just so hyped right now. I can't remember the last time I was this hyped about FPL. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm a blubbering mess right now. I'm not gonna lie. What a result! What an absolute result! Yeah, I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon. Wow. Oh my days. Okay, right, guys. Yeah, you may as well have a quick look at my team. Some of you guys will know what my team looks like already. Some of you guys won't. This is my team that I've been rolling with for 2 game weeks now. Absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it, and that's despite the Salah captain fail. Yeah, of course we've got people in the chat obviously saying, "Oh, calm down. You know, it's only 2 game weeks." Blah 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 blah. Yes, I'm well aware that it's only 2 game weeks, and usually the people who are smashing it in the first couple of game weeks are the people who are, like I said, are using chips and stuff like that, who typically won't be a threat long term in FPL. I know it's just the start of FPL, but all I need to do now is just play sensible template transfers for the rest of the season, and I can pretty much guarantee that I finish around where I am right now. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and push on because I want to win FPL. But you can't ask for a better start. You really can't. You really can't ask for a better start. And like, I'm going to be hyped right now. I'm going to be happy. Like, you know, when FPL goes right, you should celebrate those victories. And you know, when things go wrong, you should also be able to laugh at them. I really truly believe that. There was a lot of times last season, particularly when I was just getting an injury. Every time I transferred in a new player, you know, it became a meme on this YouTube channel that if Dan transfers in a player, that player will get injured that game week, because it happened, what, like 10 game weeks in a row or something stupid like that, 15 game weeks in most of 15 game weeks. Look, if you're doing, if you have some highlights in FPL and FPL is a game that you really enjoy, then enjoy it. And I'm absolutely buzzing right now. I'm enjoying it. And you know, any of you guys who are in a similar boat, you know, you're already finding yourself in the top, you know, 100k right now. Guys, you're smashing it. You're smashing it. You should really be so happy. Honestly, generally speaking, if you're in the top, and I said this on the FPL Mates podcast that I released earlier today, if you're in the top 500,000 players right now, you should be hyped. That's like an amazing start, like such an amazing start. But man, to be sitting at 4,270 after 2 game weeks, it's incredible. It really is quite crazy. I was going to also show in the content creators league, which I do like to keep tabs on how I'm doing against other sort of content creators. For the 2nd game week in a row now, I've got the highest game week score as well. So, you know, it is going really well. Out of I think there's something like 33 content creators in this league, this mini league. Yeah, 2nd game week in a row, top score. Yeah, this it like I kind of said before, I am fairly new in the FPL community, and just to be doing this right now is, yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Right, but anyway, guys, I'm not gonna be a blubbering mess all stream. I promise you that. I promise you that I'm going to try and get back to talking like a normal person and actually start talking about FPL and stuff like that. But guys, you know, the start to this season, the amount of support that I'm getting from you guys, you know, pushing me to you know, make content and do my research and try my best to just do a great job with my research and, you know, making my team every week. I'm just hoping hopefully it's going to pay off in my FPL ranks as well. You know, and yeah, so thank you guys for all of the support recently. I honestly could not be doing any of this without you. It's amazing. But guys, we're here to talk about FPL. So I'm going to show you a little bit about my team, what I'm planning on doing next week, and I'm also going to be answering some of your questions that you have in the chat, because I know some of you guys will be thinking about what we're going to do with Harvey Barnes, for example. You're probably going to be talking about, okay, Tsimikas, what's going on with Tsimikas right now? How are we going to get him out of our team? Who are we going to bring in? You know, maybe we'll talk a little bit about captains. There's obviously there's loads to talk about, and we will talk about it throughout the week. But let's give out some first kind of let's get some first opinions, I guess, for the new game week. Right, so guys, you've seen my score from last week. Let's go on pick team for the new game week, and I'll show you what I am lining up with, what I'm dealing with right now. I have to say, guys, and if you follow me on Twitter, you already know this, but I have already after that game, I've already slapped the captain's armband on Antonio as an early thought. You know, it had to be done, right? Had to be done. So yeah, we've got Antonio as the captain right now. I think I am genuinely thinking of sticking with this, because Wolves played really well against Leicester in the first game, and very well against Spurs as well. Made it quite difficult for Spurs. So I'm not massive. Before the season started, I would have perhaps been thinking, well, I know Wolves kind of one of the weaker teams, but an away game against Wolves, you know, Manchester United showed that they can't just roll over every team when they played against Southampton on Sunday yesterday. So yeah, it's not that I don't think Fernandes is a good captain. I think he's a very good captain. But, you know, seeing Antonio's performance, seeing, you know, some fragilities that we've seen with Crystal Palace as well, and just seeing West Ham and how attacking they are, how aggressive they are, and how good they are now as well. I'm really thinking that Antonio, no, it's not a premium captain, and a sensible move is always to just go for a premium captain. And Fernandes would be the sensible captain choice, particularly if you're looking to hold rank. But like I said, I'm not looking to hold rank. I'm looking to win FPL. That's my goal. It has to be my goal. And until that looks like it's going to be impossible, it's going to continue to be my goal. And I'm going to do that by making the decisions that I think are the best decisions, rather than just following the template necessarily. So Antonio captain is looking very likely for me as things currently stand against Crystal Palace. It's a very good fixture. It's a very good player. It's a player in incredible form, playing with a lot of confidence, playing with players like Ben Rama in the form of his life as well. He's going to have a massive, really good impact on Antonio as well. And you can see, guys, I've also put in Ayling, because the first two game weeks I've not actually started with Ayling. I started with Tsimikas instead, who you can see is on my bench there. We've got Ayling there against Burnley. Burnley sort of looks so far to be, well, I mean, we kind of knew this to an extent. Burnley have always kind of, well, recent seasons really struggled for goals. So although Leeds haven't filled me with confidence defensively, certainly not been the defensive unit that I hoped they would be based on the performances late last season, that is still a very good fixture for a defender. A game against Burnley. I know it's away, but it's a good fixture for a defender. So we are going to be lining up with Ayling in defence this game week. And I've got 2 transfers to spend. When things are going this well, it's difficult to say where you should use your transfers. A lot of people will probably be looking at this team and thinking, well, Wilson's got to go, surely. I don't think so. Wilson's got a home game against Southampton, home, at St James's Park. Newcastle, will be well up for that game, definitely. After the first after the first game at St James's Park, they'll be looking to do something a little bit different. Southampton, long trip up north. Southampton have shown a lot of fragilities. They've been quite good at times as well, but they have shown fragilities, particularly in that first game. So yeah, I do think Wilson can continue to do the business there. Long term, maybe it's a little slightly concerning, but I do have a lot of confidence in Wilson. I think he's a very good, very, very good football player, and Newcastle clearly do have something about them as well. So yeah, I'm not looking to captain Wilson or anything like that, but I don't feel like I need to remove him from my team. I've not got any like sudden urge to say, oh, he has to go just because he blanked once. I'm not going to knee-jerk him out the team because, like I've been saying, you know, when you pick your initial team, your initial 15 players, you're picking them for a reason, and 1 game week, 2 game week is not a massive amount of data to suddenly be changing your mind on that. And I'm certainly not worried about Wilson or anything like that. I will be looking to move him on soon. Don't worry about that. But this home game against Southampton is a game that I am. I'd be more than happy to keep Wilson for. You know, I could switch him to DCL or someone like that. But do I really think DCL has that much of a better chance of scoring in game week 3 than Wilson? Not really. DCL plays against Brighton. Brighton, a very good defence, remember. They've just come off the back of a clean sheet. We know about Brighton's defence. We know how stubborn they can be and how tough they can be. DCL as well, you know, an aerial player playing against the aerial ability of Duffy and Dunk, basically absolute aerial units, particularly Duffy in the last couple of games. Aerially has been incredible. So that's not going to be an easy game for DCL by any stretch of the imagination. So although you could say, yeah, easy switch, go Wilson to DCL, I don't think so. I don't think I need to do that. I will be looking to get DCL in soon, but not quite yet, if I'm honest. So we're going to stick with Wilson for this game. Other than that, you look around my team, who would you honestly take out? We've got Sanchez against Everton. You know, I'm not going to make a goalkeeper switch. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Salah against Chelsea. That's not ideal, I suppose, is it? We've got Shaw against Wolves. That's a pretty nice game defensively. Greenwood's playing really well. Benrahma's playing, Benrahma and Antonio aren't going anywhere. I think we all agree with that. Ings is going to be a great shout for this game against Brentford. I know they've kept a couple of clean sheets so far, but Brentford are not typically a great defensive team. So, you know, I'm not 2 clean sheets from Brentford is not going to make me say, oh, Brentford are really good defensively, because I don't really think they are. I don't think that's enough to convince me of that. So Ings has absolutely got to stay for this game. And again, Ings is another player who could potentially move on. His fixtures just turned horrible from game week 4 onwards. I mean, look at this: Chelsea, Everton, Man United, Spurs, Wolves, Arsenal, West Ham. Not nice. So he's probably going to have to be moved on. Wilson, fixtures a little bit more mixed. Manchester United, Leeds, Watford, Wolves, Spurs, Crystal Palace. Yeah, there's potentially a right moment to get rid of Wilson. Let's see how Manchester United perform defensively against Wolves is what I would probably say. No, Antonio's not going anywhere. Crystal Palace and Southampton, absolutely love that. So yeah, the transfer that I'm really looking to make right now, and I know it sounds really boring, but you can afford to be boring. You can afford to be boring when things are going well. You don't have to make these kind of crazy transfers. Oh, FPL Phillips, thank you for joining as a channel member. I really appreciate that, bro. FPL Phillips is a bit of a legend, by the way. He has his own FPL channel. It's going really well. He's kind of a new kid on the block in FPL, so it's nice to see him smashing it on YouTube. And yeah, he's pretty funny on Twitter as well. So yeah, drop him a follow, drop him a subscribe. But yeah, a little shout out for you joining as a member. I appreciate that, bro. But anyway, back to my team. So it's basically what I'll be looking to do is take out Tsimikas, which seems a bit crazy because Tsimikas is actually on the rise. So look, you know, he's rising in price. He should go up to 4.2 million tonight because people are buying him and buying him and buying him. These are sort of your casual players will buy Tsimikas because they'll think, oh yeah, Tsimikas is 4 million. He's doing amazingly. 6 points in the first game, 11 points in the second game. Tsimikas is a legend. Absolute must buy. The sad fact is that Robertson is going to return to the team, and that's going to mud Tsimikas, unfortunately, as well as he has done. Robertson is the main left back at Liverpool Football Club, so Tsimikas is not going to stay. He's not going to stay in the team, so he's going to become pretty much useless, wasting a Liverpool slot, and he will just drop in price from here on. After this game week and people realise, oh wait, Tsimikas isn't starting anymore, when people realise that, when the masses, the casual player, if you like, realises that Tsimikas is not starting anymore, it's suddenly going to be a case of Tsimikas dropping and dropping and dropping in price. Probably go down to 3.9, maybe even 3.8 million. He's going to be in absolute free fall. So he's going to be the guy I'm going to be taking out. The question is who to take in. And what I want to bring in is a player who I will actually play sometimes, who's actually going to get some game time sometimes. Because I don't want to just make a transfer on a player who is just going to sit on my bench quite literally. I don't want that, literally speaking. I want a player who is useful at times. So let me show you what I'm thinking. So Ayling is the player I would be looking to replace occasionally with that bench option. So if we look through Ayling's fixtures now, pretty good in general. We've got Burnley next, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Very nice for a little while there. Pretty decent. We like that. But there are a couple of fixtures that stand out as quite difficult games from a defensive point of view. And those two games are Liverpool and West Ham. So game week 4 and game week 6, I'm looking for, basically I'm looking for a player around 4 million that is likely to play at least some games and who can cover game weeks 4 and game week 6. Now, can assume Omobamidele comes into the team, can he do that? 4 and 6, remember guys. Arsenal in 4, don't really like it that much. Everton away in 6, don't really like that much. So, you know, a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, but how about Williams? Williams is not going to work because Williams, of course, the Manchester United's Brandon Williams is just signed for Norwich, so we expect him to get big game time, but doesn't cover 4 and 6, so he's not going to rotate well with Ayling. So let me show you guys what we're thinking. I'm going to go on. We'll just go on defenders, and we'll go by price, and then I'll just scroll down towards the bottom. Oh, that's a little bit too far. We'll go to the last page. Is anyone I'm interested in here? Okay, right. So, guys, a lot of you guys will be shouting at your screens. Livramento. A few more members, by the way. Let me quickly give a shout out to some of these new members. So, we have got, as a member of the channel, Abby Roop Day. Thank you very much for becoming a member. I think you were a member before, weren't you? Thank you for rejoining anyway. And we've got Friendly Bane. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Of course, guys, members, you have... I can see your messages easier in the chat, so it makes it a little bit... I know I'm not really reading the chat right now because I'm talking about my team, but when I am reading the chat, it's a lot easier for me to see the messages from members because they'll have their name in green and they'll have a little icon next to them as well, so it's easy for me to spot them. And of course, you have access to loads of emojis that I've made for you guys to use in the chat as well. You can use them in video comments as well. So members, you have emojis and stuff. There's like Neil Morpay emoji, Salah emoji, captain's armband emoji, all kind of stuff like that. So, right, guys, back to the topic at hand. So, a lot of you guys will be thinking, Livramento, he's played so well. He's been an absolute star, and I agree with you. And I think he is going to, long-term, do quite well and be a really good 4 million asset. The problem is with Livramento, for me personally, and this does not apply to everyone because remember, I'm looking to rotate with Ayling. I'm looking to get that player to replace game week 4 and game week 6. Game week 4 fixture for Tino, West Ham, not great. Game week 6, Wolves at home, yeah, okay, that's a little bit better, but it's not perfect, right? It's not exactly what I'm after. But there is a player who is exactly what I'm after. And that is Shane Duffy. 4 and 6. Brentford away. Crystal Palace away. Two really... first of all, a strong defence. That's what Brighton are. You know, we can talk about Livramento and how good he's looked going forward. But Southampton, bit of a shaky defence, aren't they? But in Shane Duffy, we have a Brighton defender who will play in the game, who has a good fixture in game week 4 and 6. In fact, game weeks 4 and 6 are the best fixtures that Brighton have over the next sort of 5 game weeks. So the two fixtures I'm looking to get that player in to rotate with Ayling are the two perfect fixtures. So I'm really, really liking the look of that a lot. I've got a super chat here as well from the FPL Sings. Oh, nice to see you, FPL Sings. We follow each other on Twitter, don't we? But the FPL Sings say, hey Dan, would you keep Barnes before his Norwich game or get on the Benrahma train right away. Initial plan was Tsimikas to Livramento. Completely understandable that you'd be thinking about going for Tsimikas to Livramento. I mean, we're talking about it right now. Taking out Tsimikas, who are we going to replace him with? We need another player around 4 million who's going to do the business. Livramento looks like a really good shout for that. In terms of Barnes, I don't really see how you can remove him before the Norwich game. The conundrum that you've brought up here, Sings, is Benrahma. If you can only have one of Barnes and Benrahma, who are you going to take? You're going to take Benrahma, right? But Barnes before Norwich is so nice. So my advice there really, if you don't have Benrahma yet, and you do have Barnes, is there another player you can replace? Or is there not another player? You know, if you've got a Jota, for example, I would probably be thinking about taking out Jota and putting in Benrahma. If you've got Greenwood, it's a little bit more difficult. You'd probably stick with Greenwood, right? But Barnes against Norwich or Benrahma against Crystal Palace, it is such a tough decision. And a lot of me says, maybe just keep Barnes for one more game week. He deserves one more game week. But at the same time, you've got to get Benrahma in. He's the template. He's in the template. So I wish I could help you out a little bit more there. Is there any other way you can get Benrahma in? Have you got 2 bank transfers? You can maybe switch formations, get a 5th midfielder in there, something like that. That's probably what I would say to do. I've got another super chat here from Jarvis Cocker as well. He says, Christopher Ayer is the best cheap defender, 4.5 million and 12 points. Yeah, unfortunately, we've got to look at a little bit more than points and look at the context a little bit here as well. So, Brentford, yes, cracking start, 2 clean sheets. That's meant the Brentford defenders, they're getting your points, right? They got points first 2 game weeks. Is that going to continue, though? I don't know. If you're just looking at points alone, you will come to the conclusion that Brentford defenders are smashing choices, amazing choices, right? But I'm not convinced that Brentford long term are going to be this defensive unit. You know, I'm not convinced by that at all. It would take a lot more to convince me, because that's just not who Brentford are. It's not it's not who they've been long term, and even their underlying stats have shown that they probably should have conceded a goal or 2 by now, which they haven't, obviously. But yeah, they are. I think their clean sheet run is on borrowed time. So I would not be rushing into Brentford defenders personally. That's not what I'm not thinking about it. If you feel like you've seen something slightly different and you quite like the look of the Brentford defence, okay, you got to play your own game at the end of the day. But it's not for me. It's not for me, really. JA600 has said in the chat, Tony for Benrahma, and that's exactly what I was saying to Sings. If you can switch from a 3-4-3 formation to a 3-5-2 formation using 2 transfers to essentially do a swap for Tony to Benrahma, essentially, because you'd be using 2 transfers to do it, obviously. But if you can do that, I think that's pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. But anyway, guys, Shane Duffy is the boy. Is basically what I'm saying. Shane Duffy is the boy. I feel like he's proven himself, really. I think as a 4 million defender, I know he's 4.1 now. When we get the Tsimikas price rise, that'll be no problem. It'll just be a like for like, a direct swap, if you like. But Shane Duffy has done incredibly. Man of the match first game. An objective man of the match. I know Bissouma, depending on what TV channel you watched it on, where you are in the world, Bissouma was the man of the match in the UK, in UK television, I believe. But Duffy was by far the highest rated player on most websites that you'll find that do player ratings, like Who Scored, for example, I think had Shane Duffy at an 8.7 rating. The second best Brighton player was at like a 7.5 rating. So Duffy is having an absolutely phenomenal start. I've seen Brighton fans sort of say, yeah, he's going to stay in the team. He's got to stay in the team. He's doing so well for us. He's been our best player so far this season, which he has. Duffy has been Brighton's best player so far this season. It'd be very, very difficult to drop him. We know Veltman is not going to be quite ready to play in game week 3. So Duffy is going to have at least one more game to prove himself and solidify himself in the team. And I know Duffy didn't play last season for Brighton, But before that, the years before that, Shane Duffy played every single game for Brighton. He was their main player. He was their main guy. He was their main defender for years and years and years. And he has done well in pre-season. He's come back into this team with a couple of injuries, proven that he's the best man for the job. He's going to get another chance in Game Week 3 to prove he's the best man for the job. And he's going to keep going and going and going. And he's going to look... he's going to look to solidify his place in the team. And I really do think that it could happen. I really do think he could become... he could be a mainstay in this team. Other players are going to come back. But who are you going to drop? Are you going to drop Duffy? Or are you going to drop a player who's not doing so well? If Duffy is this as key as he is right now to Brighton, then surely he has played himself into this team. And that is the theory that I'm going with. And even if it doesn't work out, and there's every chance that it doesn't work out, it happens. These things happen. It's a 4 million bench guy. It's a 4 million player on my bench. Doesn't really matter in the grander scheme of things. It's not going to break my team. It would just mean that I'll have to play Ayling in games that I wasn't 100% sure I wanted to play him in. I can just play Ayling instead. The actual 4.5, the actual proper player, if you like. So that's kind of what I'd be thinking of doing. Friendly Bane, the new member, has also put a super chat in the chat. So let's have a read of that. Friendly Bane says, same squad as yours, but I have Ben White instead of Ayling and 0.5 in the bank. Who do I transfer in? Ayling, Sofal, Creswell, Spurs player. I'd actually be quite keen to get a Spurs defender in if I could right now. How do Spurs defenders rotate with, who else have you got? You've got Ben White, so you want to be... really want a player to play pretty much every game. So we're probably looking for another 4.5 million defender at Spurs. So let's have a look at that. We've got Tanganga. That's the name that's jumping out to me immediately before I've even looked at the list. 4.5 million. 2 clean sheets so far. Yes, a yellow card in the last game, but we won't pay too much attention to that. Fixtures up next. Watford, Crystal Palace. Not bad. Chelsea... That's going to be tough, but there's the Arsenal game. You'd arguably say that's quite a nice game. Aston Villa at home, Newcastle away. Not bad. Yeah, Tanganga does look like he's going to be the main right back for Spurs now. I'd pay serious consideration to getting a player like that in. Like if I was to go for a 4.5 million defender, that's probably where I'd be looking at, to be honest. Let's see who the popular defenders are to bring in. Pinnock I think is a little bit misguided, like I've kind of said about Brentford, to be honest, but possible. Dyer, who is he going to be a main guy? When we talk about Romero coming into this Spurs team, who's he going to replace, Dyer or Sanchez? Wouldn't want to take that risk personally and bet on one or the other. Around 4.5, there's not really too much that a lot of people are hyping up right now. I mean, like I said, Tanganga's the guy I've been thinking of. Obviously, going up to a Reguilon could be really nice because you get the potential attacking returns as well. But I don't know how many attacking returns there's going to be for Spurs. They've been, 2 goals so far. Are they going to be attacking masterclasses? Don't know. We'll see. I still kind of do feel like, to a large extent, Spurs are still a kind of a wait and see team a little bit. Not massively hyped on going for them. Like I know a lot of people will be going for Son right now. I kind of get that. I would imagine that Son is one of the most transferred in players this week so far. Is he? Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, okay, right here he is down there. 77,000 people transferring him in. But look, I kind of said this before. Son is fixture proof to a fault. He's fixture proof to a fault because when a team sits back, it makes it more difficult for a player who is world class at counter-attacking football. It's much more difficult for Son to get those massive FPL scores, against teams that do sit back. And in many ways, he's going to be more of an advantage against your, Norwich's, Southampton's. Looking at the fixtures coming up, I guess Arsenal, West Ham. Although West Ham are a bit of a counter-attacking team themselves, aren't they? But there are fixtures where Son can do really well in. but Watford and Crystal Palace do not stand out to me as ones that, you know, he could easily get, you know, a couple of goals in that 2-game period, but I don't think he's going to get those worldy scores, you know. It could happen, I suppose, but yeah, not so much that we wanted to rush players like Salah out the door, you know. I think a lot of people are selling Salah as well. They don't like this fixture against Chelsea. I'm just going to keep Salah, to be honest. I don't want to lose Salah. You know, one of the most transferred out players, Salah. That'd be interesting for the buy, sell, keep, avoid video tomorrow, right, guys? We'll see if we can talk about Salah potentially. But, you know, after the Chelsea game, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brentford, what an amazing 3 fixtures that you'd probably want to captain Salah in all 3 of those games as well, wouldn't you? So are you really going to take out Salah? What if you can't get him back in again? What if you find it's difficult to get him back into your team, or, you know, he rises in price or something, or, you know, it becomes impossible, or, you know, just the very fact that you spent 2 transfers getting Salah out. And, you know, this is a home game for Liverpool. We talk about Liverpool at home. We talk about Salah at home. I know Chelsea are absolute monsters defensively, but there's no reason why a player of the quality of Salah can't score a goal against Chelsea. You know, these things happen all the time. That's why they're these big players. In these big games, the big players score, right? So, yeah, I do think still we want to be keeping Salah, guys. So yeah, that's something to consider as well. Let's have a look in the chat, see what other things you guys are saying. I'll go on my my points. I know a few people have asked in the chat to see how my points are getting on so far this game week. Well, so far this game week, the game week's done. But if I just go on points, you can see once bonus points are in, that is how we have somehow achieved an 87 score. Another, you know, incredible score. So your FPL guide in the chat has said, will Tsimikas go up in price? Yeah, Tsimikas will go up in price. He should go up in price tonight. We'll perhaps have a little look. We did this last season, but we will have a little look at what's it called? FPL statistics.co.uk. We'll have a little look at this. Well, we'll have a look at that at the end of the stream, though. I'm just going to put that there to remind me, though, and we'll have a little look at who is looking likely to rise in price. But Tsimikas is very much on that list, you know. Dan Cross says, I think people's worry is he doesn't play Game Week 4 from what I've seen on Twitter. Yeah, okay, right. So let's talk about that very briefly. So, after the international break, there are certain countries that are red listed, which means when you come back from these countries, you've got to quarantine. You've got to self-isolate after you come back from these countries, right? Now, here is my opinion on this, and bear in mind this is very much an opinion because we don't really know what's going to happen. The idea is basically if a player is playing international duty in one of these countries and they're going to come back, then they're going to have to isolate and therefore be unavailable to play in Game Week 4, right? Egypt is one of those red listed countries, so all Egyptian players coming back from international duty will have to isolate and won't be available for Game Week 4. All Brazilian players, Brazil, red listed country, when they come back from Brazil after international break, they will have to isolate, and so on and so forth with various other countries. Now, here is where I think this sounds all a little bit strange, and why I don't think this is going to be adhered to. So, what's happened so far, and bear in mind, the UK is in the best COVID scenario it's been in for the past year and a half. You would say in theory that the restrictions on players coming back or people coming back from other countries would be a little bit more lax at this point, right? How it was dealt with previously is that if players stayed within their professional bubbles, then that's fine. You know, they can come back, they can continue being a professional, right? So there's that one factor. That's how it's been dealt with all this time. You know, if you want to go away on international duty and you want to come back and you want to play football, just stay in your professional bubble. You can't go out and mingle. You can't go out into the big wide world and potentially catch COVID. You can't do that. So that would be that would be one way of ensuring that all players would be available for Game Week 4, and there's no problem. No one. It doesn't matter if they're coming back from red listed countries. They don't have to quarantine. They're sorted. They stayed in their bubble. They were sensible young men, and they're all fine. They're good to play in Game Week 4. Sorted. There's the other idea that we've kind of got European games. You know, West Ham have got to go play in Turkey. Turkey's a red-listed country. Are we saying that if West Ham go and play a game of football in Turkey on a Thursday night, they can't play again that weekend because they've just come back from Turkey? Well, the whole West Ham team just can't play at the weekend because they had to play a game in Turkey because Turkey's a red-listed country. They've got quarantine. How's that going to work? It wouldn't work, would it? So, yeah. If you are staying within of your professional bubble, you're being sensible, you're coming home, you're testing negative, there's really no reason to believe that this scenario would be any different to the last year and a half where it has essentially been no problem, right? So that's kind of my perspective on it. We'll get more information over the next few days, I'm sure. Next week. We'll find out exactly what's going on, and if players are going to have to isolate, if they are going to be unavailable for game week 4, if Salah is going to be playing against Chelsea game week 3 and then unavailable for game week 4, then absolutely there's some big questions to be answered there. Potentially, especially if that Liverpool are going to be without the likes of Firmino, Fabinho, Alisson. It's not going to look great for Liverpool, right? But I don't think that's going to be the case. I honestly don't. And for that reason, Salah he's going nowhere. He's going nowhere else in my mind, to be honest. So there we go. That's all I got to say on that one. We've got a super chat from Shakalaka Mekalika, my favourite name in the chat. He says, Captain Antonio, game week 3, lock emoji, lock emoji, lock emoji. Absolutely love it, mate. Yeah, Captain Antonio, it seems really likely that that's exactly what I'll be doing. I know a lot of people will go for Bruno Fernandes, play the safety pick. But, you look at the form that Antonio's in right now. Game against Crystal Palace, it looks good, right? Craig Gamble says, couldn't agree with you more, Dan. I'm glad someone agrees with me, because sometimes, I have this particular view on the quarantine and how these things are going to work. And I think a lot of people are just fearful right now about international duty. What's the impact going to be? I think sometimes you've got to step back and try and be a bit more rational about it. Look at what we've seen so far and stuff like that. Sondre's coming in here with a super chat, says, congrats on the rank, Dan. Thank you very much, Sondre. I really appreciate that, man. Reckon I should switch Bowen to Benrahma before his price rise, slowly regretting getting him over Antonio. There's certainly a really good argument to go Bowen to Benrahma. There really is. But Bowen has played well, don't get me wrong. I think he's been good. He's on set pieces. He is, potentially could fill in as striker, or will fill in at striker should Antonio be rested or injured. So Bowen could be the player that pops off at any point. But Benrahma, the form that he's showing right now, you can't really argue with it. And it seems a little bit of a sideways move. But if you've got no other problems in your team, then I don't think there's any problem with going Bowen to Benrahma as a transfer, So, definitely something to consider. Definitely something to consider, man. But there we go. Anything else interesting in the chat? If my whole life will stop lagging around me, because it does seem to be lagging around me. By the way, guys, wow, almost 2,000 of you in here for a reaction stream. It's just incredible. Not used to this level of views. Guys, if you wouldn't mind clicking a like on the stream, I would massively appreciate that. If we can get this stream to 500 likes before it ends, that would be absolutely amazing. So do smash that like button. I would massively appreciate that. And guys, of course, if you are new around here, this is the first time you're seeing my face, please do consider subscribing as well. There are FPL videos on this channel pretty much every single day. I only usually miss like one day a week. I probably usually take a break on a Sunday. But every other single day, there's at least one FPL video, sometimes even more, if you include streams anyway. So yeah, plenty of content if you want it, for sure. But anyway, Jake SAFC says, does Tsimikas play next week or not? The answer is no. There is no way. I mean, I say there's no way. I'm 99% sure that Tsimikas does not play next game week, and it is going to be Robertson back in the team. So there you go. Vishal Vat says, look at me. It's 3 a.m. here, and I am here watching this stream. Thanks for your tips, Dan. Great start to the season. It's great to see you enjoying the stream at a very late time of night. But you better get some. I hope you've not got to study or anything or work in the morning, because don't spend too much of your night thinking about FPL. As much as we love it, right? As much as we love it. Craig Gamble says, you got any plans to get in Lukaku soon? I've got ways in my head of ways I could get in Lukaku. I spoke a little bit about it on last week's strategy stream. If I'm completely honest, I do think there are other strikers that can outperform Lukaku in the short term, just because of Lukaku's fixtures, to be honest. And I think Antonio could potentially be one of them. So I'm not going to make any knee-jerk decision to get Lukaku in. But from game week 7, where the fixtures look incredible for Chelsea, it's going to be Lukaku time, right? And I'm probably going to have to sacrifice Bruno Fernandes in order to do that, unless I make sort of wholesale changes in my team, which I also could do. It really kind of depends on if there's any other cheap players that emerge that I quite like the look of, if there's any injuries, or... there's all kinds of stuff like that. All kinds of stuff like that. I know there's another super chat, but let's have a look here. So Shakalaka Mekalega with another super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Antonio and Benrahma both rising in price today. Get in. Love that. Love that. We're gonna have a look at some price changes, guys, in about 10 minutes time. In about 10 minutes time, we'll have a look and see who's predicted to go up in price this evening, and there will be a few. JJ Sings, it's 5:41 a.m. here and watching your stream. Go back to bed, my friend. 7:40 a.m. Oh, God, we're watching from all around the world, aren't we? We really are. It's nice to see. You guys are up this late. You guys are crazy, but, when the football's on, you've got to get excited, right? You've got to get excited. Grazy says, should I keep Son in if I already have him? Yeah, I think you should. Greetings from Greece from Giannis. Adam says, what we thinking about what we thinking to make the Ings move out this week to bring in Benrahma? I would want to keep in Ings for one more game week, against Brentford. Like I said, I don't think Brentford are going to be able to sustain their clean sheets. Ings is going to be the man to score, right? My chat is slightly behind, by the way, guys, but it's no problem. I'll catch up with things as I can. Antonio or Son captain next week? I prefer Antonio personally, but Son could be pretty good. Stian says Lukaku won't care. He will destroy any team. Yeah, he will. He will destroy any team, but he can only destroy them to an extent. When you're playing the big teams, destroying them means scoring one goal, really. And particularly when we're going for some premium players who will be looking to captain, you wouldn't really be looking to captain Lukaku for quite some time, really, would you? I don't really want to sacrifice a captain option. Bruno Fernandes, Salah just feel like better options still for the time being, and Ings, Antonio, Wilson, they're fine for now. Ings will be moved on, but there's other options. We've got DCL, who I quite like the look of. Patrick Bamford, who I'll be looking to, I'll be having a look at him very soon when Leeds' fixtures start to look a lot better, and that's very soon as well. So there's other forward options that I really quite like the look of right now. I'll be looking at them in the short term, I think, over Lukaku and ripping up my whole team. Why would I rip up my whole team when it's going so well, Elliot Hunter says, any suggested 4 million or 4.5 million defender options? Like I said, I like Duffy, I like Livramento, I like Japhet Tanganga. I do like him, as a Spurs option there. So thank you very much for the super chat, Elliot, and hopefully you would quite like the look of those players too. Luke Ayling, if you haven't got him already, that could be quite a nice one. Akash says, one free transfer, should I buy Wilson or get a defender instead and replace Tsimikas? I don't think you need to buy Wilson necessarily. I wouldn't say Wilson is a must buy or anything like that. If you want to get a striker, DCL is the player I'd be looking at. Olivia BS says, I have Vardy. Would you captain him this week? Yeah, I would. I would strongly consider captaining Vardy for game week 3 against Norwich. He could have a stormer. I could easily see Vardy scoring 2 goals in that game, and that's a very decent captain's haul if that was to come off. I like it. Eduardinho says, Dan, should I take out Salah for Benrahma? You're crazy. No, don't take out Salah for Benrahma. That, as well as Benrahma has been doing, Salah is a beast at the end of the day, and Salah is going to vastly outscore Benrahma, over the course of the entire season. There are other, you swap out one of your cheaper midfielders for Benrahma, Tony to Armstrong. Yeah, I like that transfer a lot. Who says that? Ed Cruthers says Tony to Armstrong. Yeah, I like it, mate. I do like that transfer. Armstrong, who do they play? Who does Southampton play? Have I lost the plot? I don't know. They play Newcastle. Newcastle have looked pretty bad defensively so far. So yeah. And Armstrong, by the way, has looked fantastic so far this season. Really nice at 6 million as well. He's another guy, another forward on my kind of watch list that I'd be looking at. You know, rather than ripping up my team, make a more direct transfer to someone like Armstrong. Harry Price, thank you very much, Harry, for becoming a member of the channel. I think you might have been, have you been a member before? Potentially. But anyway, enjoy the emojis, and I'll keep an eye out for your messages in chat as well, as I always do with the members. I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and by joining as a member, it's massively, massively appreciated. Bintoni and Brownhill for Obafemi and Benrahma. Yeah, quite like that, Matthias. I do quite like that suggestion. Yeah, it's like I said, it's changing formations to get Benrahma in. To ditch Tony, no problem with that. No problem with that. What else have we got in the chat here? What will you do with Tsimikas? I don't think he'll play against Chelsea. No, he won't play against Chelsea, and I will be transferring him out, most likely to Shane Duffy of Brighton. That'll be my one weekly move, because I'm quite fortunate in the sense that I don't really have any other problems in my team that I want to deal with, really. So I can just make that, you know, right. By the way, guys, look at this team. Can you believe that the players that blanked in this team were Bruno Fernandes and Salah, and you've got players like, you know, Sanchez, Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Tsimikas, Greenwood, Benrahma, Ings, Antonio, all outscored both Fernandes and Salah. The only player who didn't outscore Fernandes and Salah was Callum Wilson. Crazy. Bally, thank you for the super chat. It says, what are your transfer plans? Again, right now, if you were to ask me right now, and I will be making these decisions final in my team selection video, which I think I'm going to put out on Thursday this week. That team selection video and transfers video, obviously. My thinking right now is to go Tsimikas to Duffy. I'm waiting for Tsimikas to rise in price tonight, and then I'm going to get rid of him and swap him for Duffy, you know. Louis Jefferson, thank you very much for joining as a member of the channel, my friend. I really appreciate that, dude. Really, really appreciate that. Divesh says, you're doing great, Dan. I've just subscribed. Thank you very much. And if anyone else would like to subscribe today, I would massively appreciate that. We are trying to get to, somehow, I don't know how we're going to do it. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think it's possible. You know, by the end of the year, I don't mean the end of the season. I mean the end of the calendar year. So by 2022... I want to be sitting at 100,000 subscribers. It's a big goal, don't get me wrong. I'm going to have to keep up these good game week scores in order to do that, right? But it's possible. It's possible. As long as I can keep smashing FPL and keep, you know, daily content, we can do it. 100,000 strong. That would be sick. That would be so sick. Can only do it with your help though, guys. So keep subscribing, keep liking, keep supporting the content. It's all massively, massively appreciated. Eduardinho says, I think Tsimikas will play against Chelsea. Yeah, Eduardinho, mate. You've also said you want to swap Salah out for Benrahma. And you also said in the chat, I saw this earlier, that you think Shaw is overrated. So, I'm not sure how I feel about your opinions on these kind of things right now. You seem to be you're going out with some pretty crazy takes right now, bro. Calvin says that Wilson miss, what it could have been. I know if Wilson scored that goal, and I'll talk about that in a future video, I'm sure, in this week. But if Wilson scored that, what incredible scenes we could have had. I could be top 1k or something like that. Or maybe probably not top 1k, because it's literally impossible to get in the top 1k right now without using triple captains, bench boosts, stuff like that. It's impossible. It's not possible to do it. You have to not only get incredibly lucky, pick the right team, but you also have to use chips to be that high ranking this early in the season. But I certainly could have had a little bit of a push. We'd be looking at about 3k, right? Sophie says, you're going to do it way before the end of the year. We'll see. Dan Cross says, easy, mate. Not long ago, you were below 70k subscribers. Guys, Dan, Sophie, I really appreciate it. But, you know, you get a big boost in subscribers at the start of the season, right? And then FPL content, after that, it kind of, not stagnates, it plateaus a little bit. And you don't really see too many new subscribers. So I really am going to have to... Well, I mean, I'm trying to step up the content and make some better content and put a little bit more work and effort and thought into content and stuff like that, and more frequent content as well, to try and, you know, it's no secret. I want to make the best FPL content in the world. I love FPL. I love making content. I love YouTube. I love making videos. I love editing. I love making graphics. I love it all, and I want to be the best at it, right? So, I'm going to push myself all the way to get 100,000 subscribers, and then whatever's the next goal after that, and I'm sure there will be goals. But yeah, I'm keen to become the best. Maybe not the best FPL player. That's hard. But FPL YouTuber, that's pretty niche. Surely it's possible. We'll see. We'll see. A good overall rank and regular content should help me on the way to that, right? But it's going to take a lot of support, guys. But thank you. I really do appreciate the support and stuff. It is massively, massively appreciated. Like you guys, you know by now that you mean the world to me, and you push me on, and yeah, couldn't do it without you, you know. But anyway, back to FPL very briefly. In fact, no. Let's look at some price changes. I said I was going to do that before the end of the stream, so let's do that. Okay. So I'm going on a website here, guys, that I like to use. I'm not getting sponsored or anything like that. It's just a website I quite like. It's called fplstatistics.co.uk. And I use it to gauge the price changes. There are some various other websites that are good for looking at price changes as well. This is just the one I use. Nothing special about it in particular. I just like it. It does the job for me. And hopefully, guys, when it loads... Oh, hang on. Invalid search, IP ban, or initializing table. Maybe it's got a little bit too much traffic right now, or maybe my internet's just bad. Both of which are probably true. But if we can get it to load, we will, I promise you, talk about some... Unless I've got an IP ban. But I don't know why I would get an IP ban. That's unless I've upset someone at FPL Statistics by accident. I've been shouting them out for the past year. I hope they quite like me. We'll do another... Maybe it's down right now. Maybe it's down. Might have to try another one. Let me just try it on my phone to see if it works on my phone, and if so, if it's working on my phone, then you would say in theory it should work on the computer, but it doesn't look good. No, I think they're down right now. Okay, let's try a different one. Oh no, it's up, it's back. We got it. We're in. Sorry. Do I dare display change to 50 players? Yeah, okay, let's go. Right, so guys, this is how this website works. Oh, we got another super chat before I carry on. From Mr. Scuffy Misses a Lot. Thank you very much, man. Do you know of any Wolves player that are looking good? Haven't been able to watch any of their games so far, but their fixtures look good. I'm going to put this out there, and this is a bit of a hot take, if you like. I think Semedo is gonna be really nice. It's gonna be really, really nice over the next however many game weeks. An attacking fullback with creativity there. I think he could be pretty good. Cody is obviously a really nice 4.5 million option if you fancy going for Connor Cody. Good fixtures, good chance of clean sheets. Have a go. Attacking wise, Jimenez really is your only option. I wouldn't really be looking too much further than Jimenez for those Wolves attackers. So yeah, maybe think about those guys. Sophie Watts here, before we go on, it says, any cheeky insights for who else will be featured on your FPL Mate podcast? This will, yeah, okay, right, guys. I am trying right now to get the FIFA YouTuber Nepenthes on to the channel. He plays FPL. I messaged him, asked him if he wanted to come on the channel, and he said yes, that he's up for it. So I'm going to try my best to get Nepenthes on the channel. So that would be a pretty interesting guest, right, if it happens. But there's a few others in the pipeline that I don't want to talk about too much because you never really know. But Nepenthes, I'm so excited about it, so I may as well hype it up a little bit. 2 Ross says, is Declan Rice worth bringing in? Thank you for the super chat, man, but I don't think Declan Rice is worth bringing in, unfortunately. But let's have a quick look at these price changes. So the way this website works, guys, is if a player's target, you can see the target column on the left-hand side. If that target is over the number 100, that means that player is likely to rise in price overnight. You can see there. There you go. It says right there. At 1:20 a.m. BST or 2:20 a.m. GMT. I think that's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. So yeah, these players are going to rise in price in the next 3 hours. Is basically what I'm saying here. Antonio, Benrahma, Lukaku, Tsimikas, Amati, all of those guys are above 100 target. They're going to rise in price tonight. Maybe Reguilon might sneak in. I doubt it though. But you can see on here that how fast they're rising up and reaching their target. And this is all about how many people are transferring these players in. If a lot of people are transferring players in, they rise in price. And equally, we can go on the other end of the spectrum. We go to the last page, we can see, oh my god, all of these players, their target is below minus 100, which means they're likely to decrease in price tonight. All of them. Wow. That's a lot of players. Trossard, Doherty, Teller, Stones, Fabinho, Trincao, Joelinton, Cavani, Sanson, Aït-Nouri, Albrighton, Gray, Firpo, Barkley, Gosling, Costa. Oh my word, Vidra, Aubameyang, Lo Celso, Walker Peters, Prayet, Bailey, Loftus. I could go on and on and on. Semedo, if he drops to 4.9, I think he could be a really nice pick, you know. A really nice FPL pick. And differential. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking early. He's on my watch list. I'll tell you that for sure. But anyway, that's how that works, guys. So yeah, we are going to. Those are going to be the players who are dropping in price. We are seeing a lot of players rising in price as well. A few after today's extravaganza, Antonio and Benrahma in particular. So that's all good. If you own these players, you're going to see your squad value increase, and you know you have a little bit more money to spend if you decide to transfer them out. How about that? So yeah, these are the players likely to go up. You saw the players likely to go down as well. It's not bad. It's not a bad website. The website, again, guys, is fplstatistics.co.uk, and it's a tool I very, very much like to use to judge when players are going to rise up. So the way I would typically use this, and I did talk about this website in another video quite extensively, but basically the way I try and use this is that if I know I've got my eye on a player who is likely to rise in price soon, I will buy them before they reach that 100 target, so I know that I can get them at their current price rather than at a loftier price, rather than at an increased price, which I don't really want to pay a little bit extra for the player. I'd rather pay the lower price for a player. You know, saving that 0.1 million could be really quite nice later on, you know. Not too bad at all. Ed's Kick says Gundogan to Benrahma. Yeah, that's a good transfer. I would say that's a good transfer. Dazzy says you can click on the target thing and you can switch it to put the minuses there. But I don't know whether it's my own OCD, but I like seeing the guys who are going up at the top, and I like seeing the guys who are most likely to go down at the bottom. That's probably just an OCD thing of mine. You can obviously just click the target and switch it around that way. Easy peasy. But no, that's just the way I do things. Maybe for your guys' sake, I shouldn't do that in the future, but I want to do it. I want to do it that way. But anyway, guys, I've been streaming now for an hour. An hour. Crazy. It's flown by because obviously I've been very, very excitable today, as you will well know. Can we put my fantasy team on screen right now for the very last time during the stream? Guys, thank you so much for all of your super chats and the new members and the people, liking the video and new people subscribing as well. And of course, all of your great questions and comments and stuff you've been saying in the chat as well. Amazing chat. It's always so nice to have a catch up with you guys, seeing where you're at, seeing what you're thinking about, and yeah, it's really nice to have a little catch up, really. I enjoy doing these. I'll be doing these streams every Monday throughout the season, well, most Mondays anyway. Like, yeah, pretty much every Monday. We're calling them strategy streams. We'll be talking a little bit about strategy, answering some questions and stuff. And yeah, just thinking about the game week that's just gone and how we're going to move forward from it. So yeah, hopefully you're enjoying these streams. Hopefully you're continuing to like the videos and you're enjoying the content in general. Once again, guys, please do like. Please do subscribe. There's been a couple of super chats before I go that I better answer very quickly. Jamie says Antonio and Benrahma in for Iheanacho and Rafinha. I would probably just do Iheanacho to Antonio. Just that one transfer. If you can do that, just do that one transfer. If you have to do both, then okay, yeah, maybe you would do both. Adam Ashton says, what do you think about adding a Tottenham defender? Yeah, I like Reguilon and I like Tanganga. Go for one of them. And AK47 says, shall I do Barnes to Benrahma and bring in JT for BW? John Terry for Brandon Williams. Who's JT? I don't actually know who. Tsimikas? Is it Tsimikas? I don't know. Yeah, I mean Barnes to Benrahma. I probably, like I said earlier in the stream, I'd like to keep Benrahma against Norwich, to be honest, and use your Benrahma transfer elsewhere. But there we go, guys. Like the stream before you go. Thank you again for those last minute super chats. Really appreciate it. And subscribe and everything like that. And thank you for watching, guys. And I will see you tomorrow for Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid. We're done. See you later, guys. Bye bye.